Hello friends and welcome back to Enterprise Architecture. Well, I'm going to be honest here, this has been a very tough episode to record. I've been playing Satisfactory Plus, which was a mod that y'all recommended that I check out. It's basically like Industrial Revolution for Factorio, in that it adds a lot of extra parts and pieces in all of your manufacturing recipes. So you're getting new ores such as lead and tin, you have to smelt those into alloys such as bronze, you have to make a whole lot of extra parts, so now there's rods of every flavor, there's additional sheets of every flavor, iron sheets, iron wire, all of these things that you have to build. And you have to basically do them from the start since very, very early game. I'm recording this right now after playing this for about a week. Usually I'm cranking out an episode in about 2 or 3 hours. This has taken me 6 days of solid recording to get to the episode you all are about to watch. This is a very frustrating and painful mod. I love it though. I have to admit, it's really well done. You've got a lot of custom models for all of the new machines they've added, and they look really sharp. The designers, they did a really great job on this. It's a very thoughtful mod in that regard, but it's really painful. It is very frustrating, and we're going to talk through some of these frustrations as I encounter them here in this episode. So stay tuned. Check it out and see all the pain I'm about to go through. Also, y'all, we hit a really important milestone for this channel, and I'm not talking about numbers of subscribers. For the first time ever, we got more views from returning viewers than new viewers. That's really great. That's the most important thing to me, because that means that not only are you all watching these videos, but you're liking them enough to come back. And that means a lot. You know, I love getting new viewers. I know I love to see the numbers go up. Who doesn't love numbers going up? Numbers are good. But seeing people coming back and liking my content and continuing to watch my content, like, that feels really good to me. That means that the quality is getting better and y'all are enjoying what I'm producing. So thanks again for sticking around with me on this journey as I'm figuring out what this streaming stuff is all about and the ViewTubing is all about and all those bits and pieces. Really glad to have you along for the ride, and hopefully I'm going to keep making good content that gets better. So thanks again for being here, friends. Now, let's dive in. Now, today I decided that I want to try another one of the mods that you all had been recommending, and this is Satisfactory Plus. Now, this is apparently a complete overhaul of the game of Satisfactory to make it a little bit more like, I think, Factorio in some ways, with different types of nodes, different types of resources, etc. that you have to find. So I figured I'd check it out and try it. I love Factorio. I think it's a great game. But this looks very different than the game I'm used to playing. So instead of iron, for instance, we have sterilite. Steritite? Whatever that is. Steritite? Or that we have to go find. So let's go ahead and do that first. Now, I figure all of this landscape is mostly the same as we remember it, but probably the nodes have changed and been moved around is my guess, in addition to all of the recipes being completely different. So yeah, I thought there were some nodes over here previously, and I see they're still blinking, so apparently those are still where they used to be. Okay, so these appear to be those other nodes. Check for yeah, there's the baddie. There's always going to be one guarding. And of course we chose to start here in the grasslands. I figured starting somewhere pretty familiar, given that this is a new game, an unfamiliar game, would be a good place to start. So we'll just go ahead and build somewhere in this region. I think my last big game I built on this hill, actually. And if this is any way similar to that, there should be, I think, a couple of more iron nodes over here and a couple of more copper. So let's go check and see if that's the case. Ah, yes. So this would be the copper equivalent, sapphirite. Yes, there we go. 2 more nodes and another hog. So let's go ahead and start setting up our base. Okay, so the Tier 0 hub. We don't have much of anything yet, but if you see here, the recipes are definitely different already. The basic iron recipe has an extra step now. So we have to take this steritite that we dug up and crush it, And then crushing it, we can turn it into iron ingots. And then those iron ingots we can turn into iron rods. Okay, so now we can finish building our hub. Send 10 of those. Perfect. Okay, so looks like we have to do iron wire with this, in addition to iron rods and iron plate. Okay, enough plates, enough wires. Upgrade 2. Oh, we have a roof now. Moving on up in the world. So next we're also going to need copper for copper wire. And copper rods, apparently, which are how we make copper wire now. I can already tell I'm going to be very eager for some automation here very soon. This is very slow process. Okay, next upgrade. It has been a long time, y'all, since I played from the start. So this is interesting to remember how all these pieces work. So we have constructors now, we have power poles, we have concrete finally, crushed stone, which I assume we use to make concrete. I do see that the smelter is there, but we're still at portable miners. We don't have automatic miners yet. When do we get... Oh, and there's the crusher. Interesting. 10. Ooh. I like that. Okay, so we need 10 reinforced iron plates, which now we make with wire instead of screws. So I guess wire has replaced screws in this. Do I even have belts yet? Constructors. No, I don't even have belts. Well, I tell you what, let's make some cables and then we'll start just automating all of the things. No reason that we need to wait at all to get started on automation. I think what we're going to use as a principle here is whatever we can automate, we should automate. I think that'll make for a more interesting playthrough. Okay, is that... Oh, nope, we still have more for tier 5. Oof, I don't remember there being this much. But that does give us the modular miner. Ooh, interesting, interesting. And for this we need 10 plates. How do you make 10? Oh, so I guess rubyite is what we use to make 10. Oh, you know what? Crushed stone is also made from the stereotype, the same as the iron. Oh, that is fascinating. This does change around some of the economics of building things, though. All right, let's make some tin. Let's go ahead and set up a couple of these rock crushers and see how they do. Can I afford 2 of them? Yeah, I can afford 2 of them. Can I afford more power poles, though? Oh, no, I can't. So I'm realizing 2 very important facts here very rapidly. 1, our production lines are going to get very, very long for very simple items very quickly. That's somewhat problematic. Number 2, we're going to have to carry around a lot of extra items for building all of these various pieces that we're going to need. So let's start with the stereotype. Oh, and it provides us crushed stone as a byproduct. That's great. And this one will do our sapphirite, which we conveniently have a bunch already in hand. It's nice that they actually made custom designs for these too. Those are really sharp looking. I like that. So the stereotype then gets fed into the smelter? Is that right? So that's going to give us iron ingots, and that we can turn into iron plates and iron rods. Okay, and there we go. Please may that be the last. Oh, no. More upgrades. Now I have to make tin wire. Oh, wow. Yeah. There's a lot of stuff. Oh, hold on a second. Automated biomass generator. You know, I thought I noticed when I was installing this that it said refined power was a dependency, but if that's the case, that means it's using refined power as its base for all of its power mod. That's really great. I think everybody here knows that's my absolute favorite Satisfactory mod just about. So that's wonderful. Okay, let's go ahead and finish the automation of the beginning of this supply line. And now it looks like this is using the same modular system that refined power gives us, which is nice. So we can put down the miner. Oh, that's cool looking. 2 outputs. And now we should be able to build a mining head for it. Okay, there we go. So we put the head in, and now if we put power to it, does it just know what to do? Oh, but these Mark 1 belts are so slow. Slowest belts ever. Oh, and my power shut down because I am using too much power. Okay, so now we have to bring up the auxiliary. Oh, right. But that won't work, will it? Try Satisfactory Plus, they said. It'll be fun, they said. Sure. Yeah. This has 4 leaves. This has no... I'm out of stuff. Okay, let's get more stuff. Okay, there we go. Our power should be back up. That'll do. Okay, now we can connect back up our main. Yeah, that seemed to have somehow worked. I'm not going to pretend why that didn't work before. I know why that didn't work before, but now it's working. So it's probably fine. Everything is probably fine here. Yeah, we'll call that good. We'll call that good. So we're getting our ore coming in from the miner. We're crushing it up. We're making stone. We're making concrete out of this stone. That's perfect. This is smelting into iron ingots. The iron ingots are going in here, and we're making iron plates. Yeah, everything is coming together. We'll grab these rods. So our iron production is mostly automated. Ooh, shiny. Okay, so we finally have completed all of tier 0, and now we have access to tier 1. Oh, and I still have micromanaged structural solutions, wire mod, all that stuff I still have in here. Oh, simple logistics. For this, we're going to need... Yeah, simple conveyor belt. Okay. Yeah, so this is the first thing we're going to need to unlock. We're going to need some tin sheets, and we're going to need some iron sheets. So let's go ahead and go for that. Perfect. Finally, splitters. So we can get Mark II conveyors already. That's great. But it looks like we have to create a part called conveyor belts that we use for something. I wonder what those are made out of. Stackable conveyor poles. Good. Ooh, the chainsaw. That's going to come in real handy because we need biofuel very desperately. Ooh, foundations we're going to need. Oh yeah, all of these sorts of things. Ore sorting. Fascinating. I have to learn about this. This looks really cool. Improved manufacturing gives us the assembler. Ooh, glass walls. Can't wait for that. And blueprints, of course. Oh, what do we got? Tier 2. All my structural solution stuff. Alloys, advanced parts. Oh, this is wicked cool. Wicked cool. Smelter module. Oh, you can smelt in the miner. Oh, wow. Oh, this is fascinating. Okay, so our number one priority at this point is to get some sort of biomass production because, yeah, this feeding of these things like manually this is not working for me. Let's make another constructor, and then we are going to start cranking out biomass because this is our bottleneck, folks. This is the number one problem, is we cannot get enough power production because we keep running out of leaves. Like, this is an automatable biomass generator, and it puts out 30 megawatts, which is all that we're consuming right now. So maybe those are the two things we're going to build first. Let's go ahead and add one of those. We know that. And we know that we want a constructor for biomass as well. We're going to need more wire. We need more cable. We need more copper. Ugh. Having to go all the way back up the chain to get these basic parts. Oh, it's going to take forever. It's going to take forever, but it's going to be so worth it. First things first, we will need a constructor. And then we want an automated biomass burner. And that should produce at 30, and our consumption should be just under 30, if I remember correctly. But our consumption is 26.2. Okay, that is perfect. Let's go back and look here at our logistics. Mergers, splitters. We have to make belts first. Those are made with reinforced. Oh, you have to use reinforced plates for basic belts. Oh, well, not for Mark 1 belts, but for any of these things we're going to use for everything else. Okay. 2 reinforced plates, 12 tin sheets. Yeah, our inventory is just going to be so full of random things, random garbage, to be able to get anything built at this rate. This is going to be very painful. So given our problems here, I'm going to prioritize getting to solid biofuel next. If we can get solid biofuel, that should keep us up and running a little while longer. So I've created enough ingredients to get the destruction of nature unlocked, which will give us now solid biofuel. So then we load this full of all of the leaves I'd gathered, which is, to be fair, a whole lot of leaves. This will make biomass. The biomass will go in here to make solid biofuel. The solid biofuel will go into these 2 biomass generators. Perfect. As I recall, Refined Power does have a biomass burner that is the modular system as well. So this is a temporary solution. All right, so I did notice that this particular mod pack also has Ficsit Farming included, which I've never gotten to use, but people really like. So there's these nodes for jar of dirt, and when you mine them, you get jars of dirt. So I'm going to pick up a whole bunch of these right now, hoping that in the near future I'll be able to do some sort of farming automation, which ideally will give us a renewable source of biofuel, since for the foreseeable future, it looks like biofuel is what we're going to be running on. So I'm going to try that out. Again, I don't know if it's going to work, but I figured this is a good way to find out. So I'm not certain, but I suspect that farming, because I don't see it here, is probably unlocked through researching. Yeah, I don't see it here. So better biomass energy. Well, this is interesting. Yeah, so this is the modular heater and power system that I was mentioning before. But it does look like that's going to need water, so we might have to move somewhere else for our power generation. But I'm going to go ahead and unlock research next, since I think this is through the MAM is how we're going to get our farming. So let's do that. All right, research unlocked. There's the MAM. Special. Oh, now we need all of these other things. And there's the MAM. Okay, what have we got? Farming. Here we go. This is what it was all for. Scannable jar of peat, scannable jar of dirt, scannable jar of bog. Okay, jar of dirt. We still need to find these other 2 types of dirt. I don't know where to find peat soil or bog earth, but this at least gives us the seed extractor. Oof, that's a lot of requirements for the seed extractor. Basic farming, dirt crops. Yeah, we've got a little ways to go before we're gonna get here. But since we are gonna need more and more copper sheets, I think this is a good time to start automating our copper production as well. Okay, so through the power of editing, we've now set up our copper production line. So over here we have copper wire being produced out of copper rods, and over here we have copper sheets being produced out of copper bus bars. That did of course require the creation of a 3rd biomass generator, which does mean our biomass is being consumed pretty rapidly now. Although we are still making a decent amount, but I am probably gonna have to go pick some more leaves here pretty soon, which means all the more reason we should be focusing on our farming upgrades ASAP. Okay, that took about an hour and a half to make all of the ingredients that I needed for seed extracting and for basic farming. So let's hope that this was worth it. Well, that's a major disappointment. It doesn't look like we're going to be able to get the seed extractor online yet, because the seed extractor requires modular frames and lead sheets. And I haven't even found lead yet. I don't know what lead looks like. I don't know where lead is. So that might have to wait a little bit. I might go on a quick adventure and see if I can't find that, but we are going to have to unlock modular frames from the hub, which, as I recall... Yeah, where is that unlocked? Alloys, and alloys requires lead plates. Where does lead plates? Where do they get unlocked? Lead sheets from improved manufacturing. Ore sorting gets us to lead ingots. Interesting. So we have a long way to go before we can get farming online, unfortunately. So I think I need to go on a wild unlocking spree, which I think is only going to happen if I let this run for a while and make some basic resources for me to start working my way up these tiers. So I'm going to do that for a bit. Okay, so to get lead, I need to mine rubite and then sort it. Apparently that is the recipe, which I never would have figured out. Okay, with the addition of a 4th power generator, I think we're okay now. So let's go ahead and continue setting this up. So rubiite goes into the crusher. The crusher then produces crushed rubiite. The crusher then goes into the sorter, which we put here. So let's connect that up, connect this to there. Okay, so the sorter should sort rubiite into tin, lead, and stone. Okay, that's fascinating. Wait, does this have 3 outputs? Oh, it has 3 outputs. That is so cool. Okay, so that means then we're gonna have to take those and put them both into smelters. Is that right? And there we go. All of our delicious lead is now coming in. Excellent. Now we can start using this to unlock some of these next pieces that we need. And finally, better biomass energy, which gives us access to the refined power modular biomass heater and system, as well as finally copper pipes, which were the main thing that we started out in the first place trying to get so that we could build some of these farm pieces. Specifically, the farming platform needs copper pipes. So let's make some copper pipes real quick and set this up. A crop plot, which we have enough dirt for now, and a seed extractor now that we have some lead sheets as well. So we're gonna want one of those. So seed extractor, whoa, this is a big machine. I guess to extract seeds, we just give it dirt. Is that what it does? Ah, here we go. Oh, look at that. Wheat seeds, corn seeds, potato seeds, and carrot seeds. It has now made all of those. So can we take these out? Oh, looks like my power broke down again. Okay, so first, actually, it looks like we have to unlock dirt crops with the seeds that we got earlier. And now we can get more modules here, but we're gonna have to grow some stuff before we can unlock these modules. Irrigation, harvester, greenhouse, all good stuff. So now let's go ahead and try and set up our platform now that we've got all of this done. Let's see, there's a creature in the way. Of course there's a creature in the way. Okay, so now we have 4 plots and 4 types of seeds. So what if we do wheat in this one, and then carrots, I guess? Potatoes, we have potato seeds somewhere. And corn, we have corn seeds. Okay, figured it out. So we needed all the farm plots put down. We need to put seeds in them. We need water running into it, and apparently we also need power, but we have now once again run out of power. Alright, so we've got the bio stuff coming from our farm, which we're manually loading into this constructor to turn into solid biofuel. We've got a source of leaves here in this container, becoming biofuel, and that becomes solid biofuel there. We are also professionalizing our power setup. So we've got our biomass heater, and we actually doubled the number of heaters and turbines and everything right here. So that should give us enough power to do everything we want. Each of these is giving us 150 megawatts per minute. So that gives us 300. We're doing about 200, 250 somewhere in there on average. So this should be plenty for now, but I've left us a little bit of room for expansion on each side so we can continue to grow this. So to get the harvester and the irrigation module and the greenhouse module, we're gonna need a few more potatoes, a few more wheat, a few more carrots, whatever that square thing looking thing is bronze frame. So I guess we need alloys. And then 2000 glass, which we also have not unlocked. So glass actually ends up being the hardest part of this. I was able to make the frames pretty quickly because these bronze beams are pretty cheap. But glass requires sand, and sand you get from crushed stone. So unfortunately, the only really good recipe for crushed stone is to break stereotype up in the craft bench. All of the other recipes, it's a byproduct. It's not the primary product. And we're just not doing enough production of the other main ores we're using for this to be really useful. So unfortunately, I'm just gonna have to make a whole bunch by hand. Now, I have set up a rock crusher, or I guess let's just call it crusher here, for the stone that I'm making by hand to turn it into sand, so 2-to-1 crushed stone to sand, and then dropping that into the smelter to make what they call glass, cheap glass, lazy glass, whatever it happens to be. I can't remember the recipe name. So that's going to make 3 sand into 2 glass, which means we still need a whole bunch of the sturbenite to actually make these. So I'm only at 70 glass and I need 1,000. This is going to take a long while. Also, one quick tip. With the miner, the new modular miner, either output from the miner will bring the ores out. However, the crusher has a primary output and a secondary output. So I'd originally connected up the secondary output on the right here, and it did not output the items. Only the primary output the items. So just something to keep an eye on. Hey dude, that is not okay. You're not supposed to walk on the plants. Should I put up a sign or something? Oh, I guess I haven't unlocked signs yet. But hey, don't walk on the plants. Come on, get out of here. Okay, while our glass is processing, let's go ahead and unlock the awesome shop. Great. I will say this early in the game, you absolutely cannot play it without using the item to-do lists. For those of y'all who don't know, on any item there's this plus sign that you can hover over and you can plus or minus it to add it to your to-do list. So you have to use to-do lists really if you're going to use this mod pack, because the requirements are just so weird and tiny and arbitrary. Like, you'll use random different parts. Thankfully, you have a very expanded inventory. Like, this is about twice as much as I think I would have at this point in the game. Otherwise, you would not be able to carry all of the items that you need, because it's just so much stuff. Lead sheets and wires, screws, iron plates, rotors. It's just so different from recipe to recipe. So that's the only way I am surviving this at all, and my sanity is on its edge already with all of these random little bits. Well, since we've got all these crops I'm not using anyway, I'm just going to shove those into the sink. Let's see if we can get a decent number of points off those. No, not really a lot. Not as much as I'd like. But at least to start here, the main thing I really want to get is concrete foundation. I want to see if this is cheaper than the standard foundations, because as I was mentioning just a second ago in my little rant, these foundations require so much random garbage. You need iron sheets, screws, iron plates, and concrete to make them. That's just obnoxious. I have to carry around iron sheets and plates just for building foundations, and this is just, it's really, really impacting my base building right now. I can't do literally anything at this point because I'm not producing those at enough volume. So hopefully the concrete foundations will not have such strict requirements. I'm really hoping that these only require concrete and maybe iron plates or iron rods or something, because oof, this is painful. I'm also looking at finally adding some walls, because we don't have walls yet, really. I think we technically have walls. Yeah, I mean, we technically have walls, but again, that iron wire and iron screws, it's really expensive and obnoxious. Oh, but we have windows. I forgot. With glass, we get windows. Not that we can afford to make those either. Okay, those veggies gave me exactly 6 coupons, which is enough for concrete walls and for concrete floors. So let's do that. Perfect. So let's check this out. Am I right? Concrete foundations. What's the oh no. Oh no, y'all. It's even more expensive. What do I need? What am I showing? Lime dust. Lime dust. I don't even know how to make lime. I don't have the recipe for lime dust. Okay, that backfired. This is just. Whew, okay. We'll keep going. We're gonna keep going. We're gonna keep getting through this, and we are gonna finish the automation of power at the bare minimum. Keep going. So our biggest bottleneck at this point has now become our belts. The conveyor belts that we've got only do 60 per minute, and we need to get up to 120. So that also means we're gonna have to make a lot more of these handmade belts that are a part for making bigger belts. So we're gonna do a bunch of those, and then we're gonna upgrade some of our belts in areas where we currently have bottlenecks because of the way that we're splitting things out. Okay, at long last we have enough glass. So let's unlock our harvester. Perfect. Okay, what does that get us? Ooh, a composter, so we can make fertilizer. That's nice. And then some baked good items. All right, so what do we need for the harvester module? 20 bronze frames, okay. And that gets placed on a farming plot, so I guess we need 4 of those. Let's do 1 to start, and then we'll see how that works. Ooh, growth speed, that's good. We'll take 1 of those. And water crops, we'll take 1 of those too. Sure, great. So let's make all 3 of these real quick and see how that works out. We go to farming, harvester module. It looks like that just fits right there. Nice. So is that gonna auto harvest items now? Is that, I mean, that better be how it works, because otherwise we spent a lot of time and resources for nothing. Oh, look, yes, it's auto harvesting to output. Okay, that is very good. That is very good. Now, the next big question here is whether or not it's going to be auto harvesting and splitting those outputs properly. And you know what? Looking at this, I don't think it does. I see 1 single output here. Yep, look at that. Everything is just coming out higgledy-piggledy. It's just all coming out. Okay, that is less than ideal, but I tell you what, we're going to go ahead and slap down our greenhouse module. We are going to go ahead and slap down our irrigation module. We are going to trick this thing out. There we go. And then, is that going to increase our production speed? Yeah, it increases our production speed. We're getting 2 biomass per minute. That is an improvement for where we're at. 10 wheat per minute. Yes. That's pretty good. We can live with that. Well, y'all, I went digging through the recipes, and you know what? You can't even unlock smart sorters at this tier anyway. I've got tier 1 and 2 unlocked. My whole goal here was to automate the production of power using the biomass off of these farms, but it simply cannot be done in early game. Like, you're gonna have to at least unlock tiers 3 and 4 to be able to do that. And I've spent way too much time, days, trying to build this out, like real days, not like in-game days. So this is not working out. In retrospect, 100% hindsight here, I really would have spent my time instead rushing to tier 3 and 4 so I could get the coal production unlocked. That would have been the way to go here. Coal, I think, is going to be the first sustainable form of energy that you're going to have in Satisfactory Plus. You just can't do it with biomass with what you're given here. I can't come up with another way to do it. If y'all know a better way for tier 1 and 2 to automate your power production, please leave me a comment and let me know what I'm doing wrong here, because I'm a little frustrated how much time I spent on this and it just did not work out. But the good news is we do have our power production mostly set up now. We're getting 300 megawatts off of these 2 generators that I do have to hand feed all of these leaves into, but it works pretty well. That's a good starting point. And it's built right over the hills here from where the coal production is. So it's not going to take us much to be able to set up our coal miners and bring them in to these areas once we do actually get that unlocked at the next tier. But for the next episode, I think we're really going to focus on unlocking tier 3 and 4 and really double down on getting that coal production in here. Once we have sustainable power, we can start cleaning up everything else and stop manufacturing so many of these pieces by hand. We can automate pretty much everything in the collection. So that's what we're going to be aiming for the next episode. Now, that's assuming we're going to do another episode of this mod. I've got to be honest, friends, this has been a burden. This has been the most frustrating mod I have ever played. It's a lot like Factorio's Industrial Revolution mod in that it adds a lot of extra parts and pieces, and that just slows down early game significantly. Really, the lack of automated power is your biggest barrier here. Lessons learned from this, just focus on getting to that tier 3 and 4 as soon as humanly possible, and don't think that you're going to be able to automate everything until you get to that automatic power, because quite frankly, you're not going to be able to do it. You can't run enough assemblers to keep up with all of those fiddly little parts that you're going to have to do and use to be able to unlock every single one of these little machines. And not just unlock, but build. Every single machine uses a different series of parts that you have to build, and that's just a lot. I mean, again, thankfully you have the expanded inventory, but it's just really painful to be able to create all those. So you're going to be spending a lot of time making individual parts. All of those rods in 4 different flavors, 5 flavors now, I guess. Iron and copper and lead and tin and all of the wires to go along with those, all the plates, all these weird things like bus bars and copper pipes and everything in the early game. Usually you don't need copper pipes so much later. It's just a lot. It is a whole lot to manufacture. So I'm gonna say, I don't know if I've got it in me to do another episode of this. We've spent a lot of time on it. I might come back and play this casually a little bit more, but this has been a burden to get through. It's taken me literal days of real time to get all of the things that I need to even get this far, and I'm still not satisfied. I am not finding this to be a satisfactory experience, but it does leave me intrigued. I will admit that. I want to see all of the other buildings that they've added to this because they just look so neat. I want to really get a feel for it. I also want to see what it would look like to have to build a mega factory with these rudimentary pieces and having extra elements in between. So we might revisit this in a little while, friends, but I think for right now, we're going to put a pause on Satisfactory Plus and come back to it when we're feeling a little bit more ambitious, because this has been a lot of work. So at very long last, that brings us to the end of this episode of Enterprise Architecture. Thanks again for watching, y'all, and we'll see you back here next time. Bye, friends.